Hello, this is Ignacy Trzewiczek from Portal Games.
And Corey Thompson from Above Board TV. Rose Gauntlet plays a lot of things.
And this is the Podfather of Gaming, Stephen Bonacore. You are listening to episode 376, and we're recording it on July 1st, 2025. Board Games Insider, powered by Board Game Geek. Gentlemen, we are live from 12 miles off the coast of southern Norway. Well, at least one of us are, but Ignacy and I are in the same time zone right now, which is kind of cool. And Corey,
Oh, that's crazy.
9 hours away. And Corey, 9 hours away on Pacific time. Gentlemen, how you doing? Everybody doing well out there?
Doing good, doing good.
You don't look good, but that's okay. Ignacy, tell
Oh,
us,
thank you.
tell us what's happening over at Portal Games.
We have a beautiful weather here in Poland. The mood is great. Everything is pretty awesome. Of course, besides Operation GenCon, but you guys are listening to have this exciting news and listen about the issues we publishers have to deal doing our operations. Right after recording of our last episode, I got the update from the shipping company that, and to be honest, I don't, because I'm not in the logistics, so I don't entirely understand what's happening. I just get these notifications. So the notification said the ship had to visit additional port in Mexico. Like I don't know, like what the hell? They just found out that they need to. Like I don't know what was happening. Anyway, additional 3 days of delay. So Gen Con is getting so tight for us for our release of Age of Galaxy. So fun times being a publisher in these days with all these traffic jams in ports. Basically, this is what's happening. This is too much ships trying to reach America right now. Anyway, we started pre-orders for Age of Galaxy. So if you are going to Gen Con or if you are not going to Gen Con, you can support us just going to Portal Games US and grab the game, because right now I am like starting the final push of marketing of Age of Galaxy, so I'm playing the game a lot to get some fresh ideas for the marketing, get some selfies, get some photos, show the game to friends in a gaming clubs. And so I played it lately. Amazing game. I know that nobody trusts publisher. I know that our listeners say he's saying that because he has to. No, I don't have to. Like I freaking love the game. So please, if you have a chance at Gen Con, hopefully, and if not at Gen Con, at your gaming local club, at your local game store, try Age of Galaxy. Is freaking amazing. I have a blast with this game. And basically go to portagamesus.com, and if you want to support us, I appreciate pre-ordering the game. We have a special promo for you, 5 additional factions, which is a lot to add to the replayability. But this is basically what's happening. Trying to move this crazy game to Gen Con and operating pre-orders for the game. Besides beautiful weather, besides Operation S and my team, mm, this week we are crazy. We redesigned the whole booth for Essence. So for years we had the same layout,
Oh,
the same
wow.
presentation of the product. It was like a automatic autoplay, the same every year. And because this year we have this very important operation that is a celebration of 20 years of Narushima Hex. I discussed this already at the show. And you have this amazing game Bohemian. So we have two games at the booth. So we decided to reshape and redesign everything. So lots of additional work for my people. They love it. And but we are going to have a great essence. So busy time, crazy time, and this is why I'm in this industry. I love crazy times.
Wow. So I just came back from RageCon over in Reno, where I saw a whole bunch of friends. There was Alan Ernstine, Teresa Duringer, Kathleen Mercury, the brothers Murph, Johnny Pack, Ben Maddox, Peter Vaughn, Luke Laurie, James Ernest, Danny Devine. I don't know. I don't know if I missed anybody.
Hello.
Oh, look at this.
Oh,
Oh, look at.
thank you, sir. You can show back to doing dishes now. Thank you.
So for those who not being able to
Got this
watch
free
this,
private tunnel.
Daryl Andrews just showed up in Corey's home in the background and handed him a cup of coffee as he bowed to him and walked away. So,
Well,
you,
you
you know,
command a certain amount of respect.
like a manservant.
Daryl Andrews was a special guest over at RageCon, so he's now spending some time at the house, and we're exploring Napa Valley a little bit.
That's lovely.
Uh,
I missed that.
RageCon was RageCon was amazing. It was so fun. Um, it was a really great group of people, a lot of open gaming at the Grand Sierra Resort Casino, which was in a really big, amazing space over in Reno. Had a really good time with it. It was delightful. So, then one other really nice thing that happened is a lot of people came up and were really friendly and were fans of the podcast. One of which was new designer Reed Ambrose, who has Wispwood coming from CGE at Essen. And he was really lovely and just wanted to say hello and how much he enjoyed the show.
That's
So,
nice.
yeah, it was a great shout out. So now I'm back in Napa. Daryl's going to be here for most of July. And yeah, we're going to have some people over the house and we're going to have some fun games. I think Johnny Pack and friends are probably going to come by in a couple days and we're going to play some fun games.
That's awesome. So as I mentioned sort of at the beginning of the show, I am currently floating in the North Sea off the coast of Norway. Should have been in port in Norway today, but we had to miss a port for various reasons. The ship had
I
some
told you,
maintenance.
logistics and shipment. This is difficult stuff, dude. Like I
It's
just told
very
you.
difficult stuff. The ship couldn't make a port, so therefore we have an extra day of gaming and eating and drinking at sea. Not a bad trade-off, I guess, if you're on a gaming cruise. But before we even got on here, a bunch of couples went to Scotland and had such a great time in Edinburgh and the Highlands. And what do you do in these areas? Well, you drink great scotch, of course. So we did like several distilleries up there, and in fact, one of them, Aberfeldy, offers a blending experience. Now, I don't often drink blended scotch. I drink single malt scotches, but it was such an interesting thing where they give you these five scotches and you taste them all, you make your own mental and written notes about them, and then you put them in whatever percentages you want. And you take 550 milliliters with you. 50, 500. No, 500. Take like a 500 milliliter bottle with you. It was really, really
Yeah.
lovely to do that and have fun there. And I've been picking up a couple of bottles because stuff I can't get back in the U.S. and just enjoying it. And Scotland is just so magical and just so beautiful. I mean, really. Yeah, fun fact, I think there's more sheep in Scotland than human beings, which is just interesting. As we're driving on the trains and things, it's sheep, like lots of sheep and very green, but just beautiful. When we were back in Edinburgh after the Highlands, we went to dinner on the last night there, wandering back to the hotel, and all of a sudden one of the parties says, "Look, board gamers." And there was this huge room of people playing board games. Of course, we had to go in. And this was the local Edinburgh gaming meetup group. So completely by happenstance, we walked by. They had a copy of Terraforming Mars. I kind of told people who I was. And I don't think anybody actually knew me. They knew the game, of course. But there were a lot. I mean, we're talking, and this is a random like weekday, like a Thursday night or something like that, and there were 100 people there, easy. So they said
That's awesome.
they said they were the only gaming meetup group in the city, and we just literally how we found them completely by chance. So I'm on the cruise now. We missed the first port, Alisund. We'll be in Molde tomorrow, and then Olden, and then Haugesund 3 days in a row. And when we get back, we're going to fly over to Ireland for 4 nights, and we'll tell you more about that when I see you next time. Now, in the meantime, as we have in this industry these days, lots of news. Let's get to the event deck. All right, everybody. So, we can't go a week without certain brands and companies being in the news. And the first one is a CMoN piece of news. And it's a,
Yeah, this one was really interesting to me in a couple different ways. So at first, it's just a one company acquiring from another company. So the story is that the company Mahjong Pros has announced that they've licensed three board game IPs from Japon Brand, and this is Suzeme Zhong, Kikasai, and Yao Chu. And for Western audience, for myself, I didn't really know these brands or where they came from. But the really interesting part of this is these are cool mini brands. So Japan apparently was acquired by Cool Mini in 2024, which
yep,
I never realized.
yep.
So these are three from Cool Mini's Japan brand that were sold. So more IPs sold by Cool Mini.
Yeah, no, I think we reported that CMoN had either acquired a stake or part of Japon Brand, which is pretty big because this
Yeah,
Japon Brand
Japan's
is
pretty big.
they were very significant. They were like the company that would be out there like at Essen, and they would be pitching all of these weird, I'm use that word lightly, Japanese games because the we've talked about it for years that the Japanese game designers were really doing some very interesting new things. So Mahjong Pros cherry picked three new IPs from a CMoN company, Japan Brand. So interesting to hear that, and that continues. That stuff continues there. We talked about on the last episode that some companies might be moving to Brazil for their manufacturing, for their printing, and Fort
Canada,
Circle
especially.
Games specifically put out a newsletter. Kevin Bertram, friend of the show, he's a listener, at least he was a while ago when we spoke. Co-owner of Fort Circle Games said that they are going to be moving to Brazil under that Katagawa. I forgot the exact name of the company, not Katagawa, a company in Brazil.
It's
Panda and
Panda. Yeah, Panda took over that factory.
or now is partnering with that factory. I don't know if they have bought the
Yeah.
factory or anything, but they're partnering with that factory. So good luck to Fort Circle for doing that. Fort Circle being their main game is Votes for Women, the women's suffrage movement. And I was on a panel with her at MarsCon when I was guest of honor there. So very lovely person. Good luck to her and Fort Circle Games. And the winners of the Origins Awards are Corey. Who won the Origins Awards this year?
There were, as you know, Origins Awards has quite a few different categories. So I'm going to rattle these off relatively quickly. For Best Co-op or Solo, it was Marvel United Multiverse. For Best Gateway Game, it was Seaside from Hachette. Best Party Game, Flip 7 from the OP, and
Good
we're going to
choice.
see that come up. Heavy Strategy Game was Endeavor Deep Sea from Burnt Island Games. So another congratulations to Endeavor. They're just racking in all the nominations and the awards. Best Light Strategy was Fromage from R2I. The best fixed constructible game was Compile, main one from Greater Than Games. Really a delightful two-player battling card game. Best randomized constructible game was Magic the Gathering Bloomburrow. Best miniatures product was Star Trek Into the Unknown, the Federation versus Dominion core set from WizKids. Best miniatures game was Fool's Gold Miniature Tarrasque from Hit Point Press. Best miniature paints were AK Interactive Real Colors. And best RPG core product, Yaziba's Bed and Breakfast, and best RPG supplement, Call of Cthulhu No Time to Scream. So congratulations to all the winners for the Origins Awards this year.
Yeah, one little thing to add is that the heavy strategy game Endeavor Deep Sea is actually co-published with our good friends at Grand Gamers Academy. Did you know that? It is. It's a
Grand Gamers
co-publish.
Guild.
The Grand Gamers Guild. So Mark Spector, very big friend of the show.
They
He
were
listens.
they were coming up a lot at RageCon because one of the hot games that was getting played all over the place was Inferno, which came from Grand Gamers. It really is a super popular
Mhm.
heavy Euro game.
Very,
If
very
I may
true.
add two things. One thing is
Yeah.
that because we were making a silly comments over the years, the Origins Award has too many categories. Uh, Clearly, this year there is less categories, so we
Yep.
see a change. I would still argue that having a getaway game and the light strategy game, it may be two similar categories, but still it is, in my opinion, a step in the right direction to have less of
Yeah.
these categories. So it is worth noting. And so the structure is we have a getaway game, we have a heavy strategy game, we have a light strategy game, and party game. I don't know why COP is like removed from the difficulty for the heaviness, but well, this is it. But once again, so step in the right direction, in my opinion. And the other thing, I don't know if this is Origins decision or ICV2 decision, but I don't know if you noticed the listed award Marvel United Multiverse from CMoN Asmodee. So it is like Marvel United was designed and produced by Multiverse, but because I think of the changes of the IPs right now, we were discussing this, right? Now it is Asmodee, or I don't know why it is listed like that. So
That's really interesting.
uh,
I don't
Huh.
know any formal transfer from Cool Mini to Asmodee for
that's why
Marvel
Maybe
I'm putting it out.
United.
Like
might
this is very interesting list, like listing two publishers for the one game, right?
I'll
Yeah.
take a guess on this one. Maybe it's because of distribution that Asmodee does do CMON distribution, at least in North America. Maybe. But that is kind of weird. So, is that an indication of something? I don't think so.
I don't
What?
know, but I wanted to point it out. This was
Yes,
weird.
it's
No,
pretty
it's
cool.
really interesting. It's I'm probably going to do a deep dive after this.
There you go. So, of course, we can't, besides mentioning CMON constantly, we can't stop but mention Diamond Comics. Something kind of very interesting going on there is that Diamond is trying to sell consignment inventory. There's two articles actually that came out with regard to this. There was a significant development affecting publisher clients of Diamond comic distributors, and another major departure as ICV2 rounds up the Diamond bankruptcy news. Diamond has requested the bankruptcy court to allow it to take ownership of the consignment inventory in its possession and sell it for the benefit of creditors, rather than returning it to the publisher that it was owed to before the bankruptcy filing. Diamond listed 182 vendors. Those are publishers, right? Those are the comic publishers with which it had consignment agreements, which typically provide that Diamond store the inventory and sell it on behalf of the vendor, which retains the ownership. Diamond is arguing that under bankruptcy law, it may take ownership and sell the inventory for the benefit of all its creditors. These are the people who are seeking the money that they haven't gotten back. The effect will be to make it impossible for those vendors to use that inventory to fulfill demand from retailers and add to the amounts Diamond owes these companies. I mean, I don't know, and I don't know that nobody is explaining in this article, of course, if that's the normal way things work. But this is what's happening. So, right? Everyone understands consignment, right? I give a product and I say, you can hold this product so that you have the inventory and then you sell it for me. But I own that product. That product is mine. So if I say don't sell it, then you can't and you have to return it. But they went to the court to make this change. Just at the same day that this one article came out, and a couple of hours later, Fantographics, which is a publisher of comics, had an interview with ICV2, and they basically said that Diamond's cut off all talk with them. They're holding their inventory hostage. They're selling off their inventory. They're selling off Fantographics inventory against their wishes, and they're not getting any money for this, at least now. I mean, there's a little he said, she said going on, of course, with all of these things. But it's pretty interesting that without hearing, I mean, the court hasn't at least told us, I mean, or maybe anybody, why they're allowed to do that, if they're allowed to do it. Very, very
Well, it's
interesting
kind of an
situation.
extension of the liquidation status of the bankruptcy. They are trying to gain as much money as they can for their creditors. And I mean, I don't know the intricacies of liquidation when you
Right.
actually are a distributor and you're holding other people's products.
We only knew a lawyer, like our friend Marion. Maybe she should comment on this. Um, but one of the things that was mentioned, I'm just going to go a little bit deeper here. One of the things, and again, the gentleman from Fantographics, his name is Eric Reynolds, who was talking with Rob Salkowitz, who does a column on ICV2 for ICV2. And one of the things that he mentioned was that it looked like Diamond was trying to gain enough money to pay off the 45 or so, 40 to $45 million debt, the loan to Chase. And we've talked about this. Remember, we talked about that someone guaranteed this loan and it was Renegade Games. So it's another party and they're trying to get that loan paid off. At least that's what's there that this article is saying, that Eric Reynolds from Fantographics is saying. It's a very, very touchy, interesting situation going on here. All right.
Yep.
Diamond, in the meantime, has shut down 2 of its products that it has given to retailers to run their stores, and that's this came out literally just a few hours ago on ICV2. In a terse message to retailers today, Diamond Comic Distributors announced that Comic Suite, that's its point of sale system, and Previews Pullbox, its consumer advanced ordering tool that integrated with Comic Suite, are no longer available. These were tools for many retailers, and although there has undoubtedly been substantial migration to other point of sale systems and advanced ordering tools since Diamond filed for bankruptcy, there are likely hundreds of retailers that rely on these 2 pieces of software. So this is another thing that final the customers of Diamond have to deal with. They're struggling right now in another way because Diamond is pulling back. They pulled back recently their magazine, their Previews magazine. They're now pulling back their point of purchase system and another piece of software. Corey, you put this in here, I believe, about Alliance
I
Entertainment.
did. So this is associated. Remember, Alliance Entertainment is one of the parties who was intimately involved in the whole Diamond bankruptcy thing. They were trying really hard to purchase Diamond, and there were lawsuits all over the place. So Alliance Entertainment, which is not Alliance Distribution, has basically announced 2 exclusive distribution agreements. They've expanded a move into collectible merchandise after hiring 7 former Diamond Comics staffers. So this, I thought, was the most important or the most interesting part of the article, is they're hiring lots of people out of Diamond into Alliance Entertainment. And Alliance is doing exclusives now within the kind of gray zone between comics and collectibles. So they're going to be the exclusive North American distributor of premium collectible products from Master Replicas and exclusive with Weta Workshop, who, of course, is the team behind Lord of the Rings.
Right.
So it's a little bit more Diamond fallout there.
Little more. Always going to see more. And then we get to price increases in the industry, and at least the third Asmodee studio is announcing 15% price raises. Now, it's funny because it was, if I get this right, Atomic Mass Games and then Fantasy Flight. I'm sorry?
Yep.
Right? Those Atomic Mass was Fantasy Flight, both announced 15%, like a couple of days apart. And now a couple more days later, Gamegenic. Gamegenic does like accessories,
boxes and storage and accessories. Yeah.
Yep, they do those kinds of things. So they're also announcing a 15% increase, and this is going to go into effect on July 15th. So it's coming up pretty soon. The funniest thing about this is that every studio seems to be doing it independently, which is kind of weird. Why not just Asmodee saying, okay, we're raising prices? But a very, very interesting one.
Providing us news for every week,
because they're good friends of the show, Asmodee, and they want to give us news. Thank you, Asmodee. We love you. We do love you. Now, this one is a really weird one. Final news story.
Yeah, and
wow.
This is kind of opinion piece as well. So I'm trying not to blow it up too much, but this is really interesting. Alex Radcliffe, who is an influencer, does BoardgameCo, puts out regular videos, and one of the regular videos he puts out is discussion of crowdfunding projects. And he went on a little bit of an opinion piece where apparently Maestro Media, who's currently doing the Clash of Clans Kickstarter, printed a testimonial from Alex on their crowdfunding project that was wrong. So they misquoted Alex Radcliffe's review of this crowdfunding project.
Tell us what the quote difference was, Corey.
So the original review was Maestro has delivered something special that captures the feel and keeps the players just as competitive as ever.
That was what Maestro put on their page.
That's what Maestro put on the thing. What was really said is Maestro has delivered something accessible. So Maestro Media delivered something accessible into delivered something special. And this is not just a misquote, because these are all written text reviews. It's not like they heard one word and then wrote down a different word. So this came from an email. So
my question to you, because you put this here and you probably looked at the YouTube video. The YouTube video was actually, that was what Alex, that's when he gave his original quote in the video, or is that when he said they misquoted me?
The video was a review of the current projects, and one of the current projects that's worth reviewing is Clash of Clans. And he pointed out that Maestro Media misquoted him on their testimonial page for the crowdfunding.
So my final question to you, I'm investigative reporting on you now. Did I assume it wasn't that like they paid him for a review or something? He just went out and he reviewed some of the projects, I guess, right? Is that what happened?
I do not know. Okay. A lot of times testimonials can be paid previews.
Right.
This was a quote from a preview that Alex did, and it looks like they deliberately misquoted him.
Yeah, I know Alex very well. Corey, certainly you know him very well as well. Yeah. This just came up literally like last night, so I just saw or this morning. I forgot when you sent this to me. I'll go reach out to him and I'll say, hey, can you give me any extra color here on this? But certainly, for the record, it could theoretically have been a mistake, but it doesn't look good when a company is going to change the words of somebody, a direct quote, right? It doesn't look good.
Maestro was sent the quote in an email.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Okay. So it's really hard to make.
The quote ended up on the testimonial page with a different word.
Yeah. So. Maestro does not look like they're smelling good on this one, sadly. But I'll get more information from Alex, and if it makes sense, we can even add more color to it for next week. So that is a lot of news. Let's get over to strategy and tactics. All right, we were starting the Steve Chivers. Literally, he said I can pronounce his name either way. He's a friend. We started this last week, but we pulled back. And so Steve's from Australia, and he says, I've been in Brisbane, Australia for the last 8 weeks. There are a few board game stores in the region, but I noticed a significant downshift in what they are holding stock-wise for board games. I have moved to a more Warhammer Magic TCG inventory. All have moved that way due to the higher margins and lifestyle Warhammer or collectible Magic TCG nature. With many games coming to life via crowdfunding these days and the abundance of online options, I am not the first person to consider how board game stores can maintain a realistic financial footing. Neither are we. I have 2 ideas and would love to hear your feedback. 1, many stores have a play space, which for a small fee, or if you buy a product, you can use. However, you now have a customer that has spent all the money they plan to occupying a seat in your store, potentially for hours. What if instead of that model, a store would offer scheduled learn the game seats for say $10? For example, 4 seats open for a teach of harmonies. The business has earned $40, and once the teach is finished, all the players finish off the game. Then each player at the table can buy the game they were just taught for a $10 discount. Therefore, maximize the chance of additional money for the store. What do you guys think about that one? That's an interesting one.
This is
Pay
part
for
of
a
a
demo.
larger discussion that how does a board game store make money is the discussion.
Yeah, I don't know.
Board gamers tend to sit in a store for 8 hours and spend almost nothing. So money per time is really low. So you have to have value added services. And we've talked about teach a game. A lot of stores do this model where you teach a game for a fee, but then you use that fee as a discount if you buy the game. And I think it's a pretty good model. It begs the question of how do you make money? Because on this system, they're not really making any more money. They're just drawing in more people. And if they decide not to play the game, you've made a little bit of money. To make more money, unfortunately, it always comes down to you have to sell magic cards, you have to sell comics, or if you have to sell food.
Yeah. Ignacio, you have an opinion on this particular? Yeah.
Yeah. Because as you guys may remember, I did the whole seminar for the retailers, how to survive in the e-commerce era. And there was a 1 hour seminar explaining retailers how to survive. And the whole point was, and we discussed this many times in the podcast, that the retailer function of just selling the product is not enough these days because people can buy product at Amazon and you offer nothing better than Amazon.com that will bring you product by drone in America. So the whole point of surviving is doing the community that we discussed the last episode, like doing this entertainment. Like you have to think about yourself like a museum, gallery, doing events, doing entertainment. And one of these is, of course, we gamers, most of us, hate reading rule books. So if I purchase a game at your store and you will teach me, brilliant idea. If I want to check how the game looks like, instead of watching photos on Amazon, I can have an open copy at your store because you can have every copy open. Like you have to figure out a lot of things that differs you from Amazon. Purchasing a games at your store is not enough. And so once again, I had a whole 1 hour seminar with ideas one after other, what you can do, the contests, the tournaments, the lottery, like all of the different things. So how to survive? You have to change your store into not a place to sell games, but the place to sell entertainment around board gaming.
And part of that I don't think has been taken advantage of enough is you can offer VIP rooms. You can say, okay, for $10, your group can play at this really nice table with nice chairs and nice lighting. You can have an actual board game table. An extension of that, and I welcome any stores to use this, is it would be very inexpensive to set up little cameras at each seat. And so a group comes, they pay for the VIP experience, they play their game, and at the end of the day, they get a little cheap USB drive that has video files of everybody's hand and the overhead of the game being played.
Yes, there's a lot of great ideas. Just think about it. You are selling entertainment for the board gamers, not you are selling games. Like this, the sale of the game is just like a tip on the whole iceberg of the things.
It's a fascinating discussion, and by far I am not, and I don't think any of us are truly experts in retailing products, period. I'm going to say for this particular thing, I don't think it would work to say, oh, you're going to charge me $10, to learn a game. That's a lot. But if you have people,
if you want,
it works. It does. At my store. But you use that as a discount.
And I will teach you.
Buy at my store and I will teach you. I think that's a great one, right? If you buy Harmonies, we'll teach you how to play Harmonies, for instance. And that's an easy game to teach too. So that would be a good one. But anyway, let's move to the second part of this.
Just one super message.
Yep.
We in a board gaming are super lucky. This is a great product, and there's so many things that you can do around us. If you are a retailer that sells socks or I don't know, like all the stupid shit, you will not build a community around that stupid product. Board gaming is a great product. So if anything can survive in retail space, exactly. If anything can survive in retail space, board gaming is a great product to build community and entertainment and fun things.
My meeple socks I'm now showing people if you're watching the YouTube channel. These are going to be my dress socks for tonight. They have meeples on
That's why people need to subscribe to Podfather of
them.
Gaming.
That's
To
Yes,
watch
we have
this.
stooped low enough that we're looking at Steven's socks.
That's right. My meeple socks that I got at Essen 2 years ago. His second part of his question, most board game retailers have negotiated shipping rates. Sure. Would it be feasible then to run a subscription service where postage for people to hire, rent out, I assume he means games from the store from the store's library? You would create a database of gamers for which you derive income without purchasing the product. Members may
Subscription
also
service. Yeah.
it's a subscription. Members may also have some benefit for the games they wish to purchase as well, such as a percentage discount or some sort of loyalty setup. Like if you spend $50 on purchases in a month, and your next month subscription is free. So he's going with right, and we've seen companies do this where you can request a game. Like it was like the old Netflix model, the old one where you get the DVDs in the mail, right?
Yeah.
And they would come to you. But for board games, those companies have gone out of business, maybe for a reason. The thing about retailers is that this is not a model I don't think that a friendly local game store should be going for necessarily, because you're trying to get people there. You're trying to get people as a community and run events like Ignacy was saying, right? If you can run things that are interesting, tournaments. If you run a Harmonies, we're just using that, Harmonies tournament, and the winner gets $10 store credit or $50 or something like that, that'll make people interested in wanting to come and hang out and spend time and money. I think you're trying as a retailer to keep the lights on and stuff like that, do things in your store. I don't think that
I think the biggest issue with this subscription model is that board games are heavy. And the shipping would be difficult. And if the moment that you said, well, we have this service where we're sending you board games that you could play with, but by the way, we're only sending ones that are under £2, people are going to get very upset. And most of the new I really want to try it board games are exceptionally heavy. So I think that the shipping model would just be much too expensive. Now, a VIP model where you pay a subscription service to get extra value added services at the store, that's been done a lot, where you get early access to sales, you get access to a gaming room, you get the special prices. That's been done for a while, and I think that is really effective.
I do love stores that have VIP room experiences. That's cool, and I've never lived near one, but I remember some stuff in Virginia that had them that I had visited. It was beautiful.
Yeah, shout out to Black Diamond Games, is kind of the gold standard in the US of how to run a game store.
Right.
And that's in Concord, California.
Very cool. Glenn Slagle. Go ahead, Ignacy.
Very, very important. I know the listeners are loving these beats. I have a follow-up on a socks story.
Socks. Okay, we obviously this is now Board Game Insider, sponsored by Power Socks.
So the socks that you bought at Essen, most likely you bought from the company called Mr. Meeple, because he has a booth at Essen and sells these socks. This is a Polish company run by my friend. He lives like half an hour from my place. So greetings from Poland in the Polish socks that you are wearing, and I hope you enjoy them.
These are great socks. I mean, look at them. I mean, you see, everybody should be looking at these and buying these beautiful Meeple socks. They go great with my suit that I'm going to wear.
Polish company, Mr. Meeple.
Mr. Meeple is the man or the woman, whatever it is. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Thank you, Ignacy.
Good thing I only have the trademark for Meeple in the US.
Corey will be suing him soon. No. All right. Power Trout, Glenn Slagle. I've heard it said in game design that to improve a game, it's usually better to remove and streamline than to add more mechanics. Amen.
Absolutely.
Amen. Then you have heavy Euros, systems upon brilliantly interconnected systems. How do you think how do you think about heavier complex games with regards to developing and streamlining the design? Context. I've been learning Darwin's Journey and thinking surely you could remove those tiles and nothing would change. Now, I don't know Darwin's Journey, so we won't comment that way. But Glenn, your premise is correct. But even with a heavier game, when it's created, a designer's going to pull things out to streamline,
Yeah.
even if there's a lot going on. Let's have Ignacy really address this because, well, he's our big designer on this show.
I don't know if I'm big designer, but at least I am designer. At the seminars that I do at the conventions for the young designers, I always give them a super clear and very fun example. There is a game called 51st State, and there is a game called Imperial Settlers. They have the same rules, but Imperial Settlers is easier and sold 10 times more copies because it is better design. Because first I designed 51st State, I was young designer, I created a lot of rules, a lot of exceptions, etc., etc. And it was successful. I got some awards, I got some recognition. But then I took a razor, I took out some of the elements from the design and make it a little bit simpler, and it became a massive hit and put me in front of many, many gamers. So yes, you need, in my opinion, to cut off everything that is not needed and treat your design like if you're in a fitness gym. Like if you don't need it, just cut it off, make it fit, make it sweet, smooth and fast. And of course, there are these heavy euros. Then I don't play, so I cannot relate.
Well, I mean, with specifically with regard to the heavy euros, I think it comes down to expectation as well. When the consumer expects them to have a significant number of rules and interconnected wheels, you kind of are obligated to deliver that. And the specific example would be Vital Lacerda games.
Oh my God, yeah.
I know that Vital Lacerda games sometimes are made a little more complex because that's the expectation with his games. But even so, the complexity needs to be digestible. The complexity needs to be something that you can play, you can understand, and you can have fun going through it. And I am positive that these overly complex games, like Steven said, still had things cut out to make it more streamlined.
With 100% certainty. Right? You build big and then you bring it and break it down and then you could add after that. But 100%, good question. Let's get over now to playtesting. Corey, as usual, you're the man. You gave us the question of the week last week. What did you talk about there, Corey?
I wanted to bring it around to Gen Con. Gen Con is coming up soon, and I wanted to get this discussion out there before it passed us by. So Gen Con's coming up. Which titles releasing at Gen Con are you the most excited about? And will you be buying them immediately after seeing or playing them, or not buying them at all, just checking them out?
So my first comment, I think our first comment, because we noticed this before we started the show, is that this is the single least answered question that we've ever had in playtesting. Why, Ignacy? Why?
Because probably I was right the last time when I said that gamers don't pay attention to the releases. Just they're waiting till the very, very end because they know that publishers will put more content, more photos,
Yeah.
more rule books, more videos just few days before Gen Con or few days before SN. So now checking these websites, reading these blogs is too early because there's not enough information. From my perspective, from a Portal Games company example, we started pre-order for Age of Galaxy last week and I'm starting all the marketing campaign right now. So people are just learning about Age of Galaxy, and this will be true for all other releases. We are just starting the campaign. We are just starting sending out information to the gamers. So there's not enough information yet.
This is a minor data point, right? That gamers will wait a little later at least. I think it depends on the con and stuff because we got the biggest two conventions, right? You got Gen Con, we got SN. Okay, go ahead.
One more example, because for years it is a very important tool to look at what's hot before the convention is, of course, Board Game
Yep.
Geek list.
Yep.
Gen Con preview and SN preview. Great job by Board Game Geek. It is for years. And of
Oh yeah.
course, as a publisher, every year I analyze this list, look what's interesting, look how my game is doing on this
Yep.
list. Of course, I'm there every single day analyzing the data. And clearly, you can see the influx of the thumbs up, influx of the comments, influx of the data points uh, a weekend before the event. Like this weekend before
Yeah.
the final weekend event, people are okay. So now I'll check what's hot and start giving thumbs up, and suddenly you see this influx of interactions.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
and I think that with Essen, the spiel, people start looking a little earlier than Gen Con, but not a lot earlier. So I think you have a couple of like an extra week or so there versus Gen Con, it's like maybe the week before. So this question came a little early, but we got some information on it. And also, if we go too late, well, our show, since we're always on a time delay, so to speak, right? It would have been a problem for us to do this question. So Corey created it, and I
Yeah.
thought taking it early was actually a good idea, and we learned something, I think. So why don't we talk about? We can actually address everybody's answer here because we only got about 8 answers. So anybody want to take one, and we'll just take one.
I mean, we had some pretty funny ones. Adam C. Wrote, "Don't know, don't care. We'll figure it out once it's in retail and
Yeah,
more reviews are available."
I
So
wanted that
that's
one.
what we're talking about.
Good
I
old,
took it first.
there you go. Good old our good friend Eric Longenbach, and I'm close to his country right now, over here from Sweden. He goes, "The Four Doors is one." I see. I don't know that one at
I
all. So a
played
lot
it.
of these.
I've played The Four Doors.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a Matt Leacock cooperative game, originally slated to be the Forbidden Island series done as a card game, and it
Oh.
has that kind of feel. It's really a clever card game. Yeah, it was really fun.
And of course, he mentions Ignacie's Nurishima Hex Battle. He
Thank
says,
you.
if this is a box that's easy to bring on travels, this will be perfect for the wife and me. So that's nice. And he also mentions General Orders Sengoku Jide. And it's curious, and it's the designers of Osprey, and they have a good track record. So he's got his
Sure.
list going.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Amber Wells listed a few that kind of hit with me. Vantage is the new Stonemeyer exploration crafting system game with thousands of cards. I'm excited about that as well.
Oh, okay.
Knitting Circle, already backed it on Kickstarter. Very excited about this one. Emily is an amazing designer and love the theme. The Voynich puzzle, intrigued by the theme. Yeah, that is a really bizarre cryptology theme. Above and Below Haunted, an expansion for Above and Below, and Arkham Travel Guide, which I don't know this one. That's really fascinating.
So sounds like a rolling right, Amber is saying. Uh, Board Game Fangirl, big friend of the show. She's interested in Luthier and Class of '89. It's a cool theme, but is the game good? She says.
If I may, I'd like to quote Brian Carroll, he who said, "Spooktacular." Spooktacular is a game that I had a chance to play as a prototype. It's a game from Brian Tolton, great designer, love him, a friend of mine. And please pay attention to this game. It's freaking amazing, Spooktacular.
Oh,
Monsters from the horror movies are attacking cinema and trying to eat everyone in the cinema. It's super fun, super mean game. Spectacular
is
on
it
my list as well.
like the classic monsters we know? Is it like Frankenstein and Dracula, or is it new monsters they've made up?
Oh, he doesn't have a license, so of course they're like a sort of, but all the crazy, suddenly aliens, suddenly zombies,
Okay.
and people are in the audience, and you want to eat all of the people who
Oh,
went to
I
the
love it.
movie because the
That
horror
sounds
movie gets
amazing.
crazy. It's really fun. It's mean. We as a players are fighting with each other to eat more of these audience people because we want to eat them all.
Very good.
It's silly. It's fun. Brad Thornton is a genius in my opinion.
Right. And then the last one we have here, let's reel it off kind of quick because Patrick Zock, he's put a lot of games in here and he's interested in a lot of stuff, obviously. Soda
Oh,
Jerk.
sure.
I love that name, Soda Jerk. The
That's
game makers.
Chris Yee.
Oh,
Chris
is
Yee
that Chris
from
Yee from the
Dice
Dice
Tower
Tower?
designed that one. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, good luck, Chris, with that one. That's great. Arkham Travel Guide. Again, we got that one mentioned game. The Game Makers.
Oh, don't forget the Game Makers is one of my big hits from Bezier. I played it at the Gathering.
Oh, great.
You go to the Gathering, don't you, Stephen?
I
Oh, that's
missed.
right. You didn't go this
Oh,
year.
my gosh. More.
It was fantastic.
Morai, Koi, Inkwell, Moon Bunny, Earth Abundance, Galactic Cruise. Everybody knows that one. That one's getting a lot of buzz. It's already out.
Yeah.
Western Legends Stories. Okay. It's a new West. It's like It's like the Western Legends sandbox, intrigues by the narrative.
Yeah.
Interesting. Fountains, Luthier. Another vote for Luthier. The Anarchy and Dragonarium.
Dragonarium.
I don't know that one.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Anarchy, I'm really excited about as well. It's a follow-up to Hadrian's Wall by designer Bobby Hill, done by Garp Hill Games. And Hadrian's Wall was one of my favorite roll and rides.
Very cool. Very cool. Corey, thank you for this week's new question. What do you got for us for this week?
This one I think about a lot. So there are a few board game titles out there that allow players to cheat. So the ones that come right off the top of my mind is Cheaty Moth is right in the name, and Cosmic Encounters has a couple aliens that let you cheat. So if you're allowed to cheat in these games, do you pre-warn other players? Remember, I'm allowed to cheat. Or does that spoil the whole surprise experience of the cheating?
Well, I mean, if you're saying, do you announce it in the beginning of the game so people know what you can do? The answer is yes. Later on, you keep your mouth shut and you just do the power because you can. That's how I would play it. I wouldn't be like, remember, I can cheat. I can cheat. No, I wouldn't do that. That would definitely ruin the experience, I think.
With new players and new games, I always feel this need to narrate and kind of help people through their game. So I go into this dilemma of, while I'm playing this game with them, do I remind them that I can cheat? I guess what it comes down to is I feel bad cheating.
Ignacy, are you a fan of Cosmic Encounter? I love it. I think I haven't played in years, but I'm a huge fan of that game. And there's only a couple of things in there I think that lets you cheat, but it's pretty
I haven't
devastating.
played Cosmic Encounter
Ever?
and I haven't played never.
Uh,
And I haven't played any game that allows cheating. So I have no clue what we are discussing today, and I'm really, really confused and interested.
well, you have to play Cosmic Encounter because it's a classic. B, I think it's an amazingly fun group experience. It kind of degrades, I think some people would say sometimes, into a like, okay, you and I will win together and we'll screw over Ignacy or something like that. You can do that specifically in the game. It's in the rules. You can win together by hurting other people. So
I believe the alien that lets you cheat is the Filch.
the Filch. Oh, and the game literally comes in the base game with like 70 different aliens, and then like you buy, back in the day you'd buy more packs with more. There were like so many. Then people would play like 3 different alien races. The game begins to get a little wonky when you do that. But I think this question is more about, do you like Cosmic Encounter? This question is more about that than cheating. But anyway, I say keep your mouth shut. Just play the game the way it's supposed to be. That's how it goes. What do you guys out there think? Right now, Ignacy's going to take that question. He's going to put it onto the guild on Board Game Geek, and we want to hear from you. Let's get more than 8 answers to the question. Have a discussion all about Cosmic Encounter because it's such a very unique, very interesting game. And I've never played Cheaty Moth. I'm going to go get that one out next.
It's the same line as Cockroach Poker.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Can you cheat in Cockroach Poker? No, you can't cheat in that one.
No. But Cheaty Moth is really all about cheating in any way possible.
Very.
So we are talking like a bluff?
Like what?
It's
bluffing?
No.
Well, a little more than that. Cheaty Moth is a card game, and you are encouraged to palm cards or hide them in your pocket or drop them on the floor. Anything you can do, and I believe it's you get rid of cards to to win.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So Ignacio's put that up there. We're gonna tag in there, and in the meantime, let's get over to the final scoring. Thank you so much for listening, and help us spread the word about this podcast by telling your friends to download Board Games Insider wherever they like to get their podcasts, or watch Board Games Insider on the Podfather of Gaming YouTube channel. And if you want to be part of this podcast, please just go over to the Guild on Board Game Geek. Become a member of the Guild if you're not. Ask us questions for strategy and tactics. Answer our question to you for playtesting. They're all in different threads. You'll see them. Come on over. It's easy. Interact with us on social media. You talk directly to us on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and YouTube. The platform names are the same. Pick the ones you like and go check it out. Board Games Insider, Portal Games US, Podfather Gaming, Dice Tower Dish, Play2Z Games, Above Board TV. Just pick the one you like and talk to us directly. Special call out to the YouTube channels. That's the biggest place that we go to. It's Portal Games Studio, it's The Podfather of Gaming, and it's Above Board TV. And really, we would love to see you in person at an upcoming convention, which I believe in this case is going to be Gen Con.
Yeah, and
Can't
thank you
wait.
to everybody who said hello to Rage. It was really fun.
That is awesome. Board Games Insider was professionally edited by Jake Thompson. Thank you, Jake, for being part of the team. And that great voice you hear doing the intro, the outro, the in-between segments is that of Ray Greenlee. And he can be contacted to do your voiceover work at raygreenleevoiceover.com. Gentlemen, another great episode. I think it is. I hope you thought it was. I hope everybody out there thought it was.
Absolutely.
What is this about Brandon Sanderson playing board games?
So this was really interesting. It kind of hit me right in the feels. So Brandon Sanderson, super ultra popular author. He has a regular video blog, and the most recent blog, the topic was mobile games except for these. And he talked about mobile games. And in the middle of it, he brought up the board game Sagrada, which was designed by Daryl Andrews.
By your manservant who brings you coffee.
Scrubbing my kitchen and bringing me coffee. And what it was he talked about the Sagrada app being one of his favorites, designed by Direwolf. And he said he actually went out and got the board game version, and now he's playing the board game Sagrada with his family and friends. So I like that. I like when we see these crossovers of board games going into other areas of media that we don't normally see them. So I thought I'd do a little shout out there.
That is just awesome.
Very good. The publisher of Sagrada should do a reprint right now, right? Because Brandon has a
oh my God, that's right. Start hit the print button immediately. Hit the print button immediately.
Go.
Yeah. And by the way, Brandon, if you want to hang out sometime, just look us up. We'll hang out with you. We'll play some games with you. Not a problem. Everybody, great seeing you, great talking to you, great being with you. And we'll see you next time on Board Games Insider. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you, everybody.